Welcome to the Rough and Ready Engine Company Engine and Hose Company number 2. Today we're going to talk about our hand engine. It was built in 1862 by Button and Blake and in Waterford, New York. Its serial number is 558, and it's number 558 out of approximately 750 that Button and Company built over its time period. This machine, like I said, was built in 1862. Rough and Ready Engine Company bought it in 1899 as a used machine for the sum of $800. And we won quite a bit of money with it over the years in competition. It's fought numerous fires. There was one I've read about in the history books, in our records, that in February of one year, they drew this machine from here to approximately Advance Auto, headed for Middle Falls. There was a fire there and somebody had sent the alarm into here. Back then they didn't have an alarm system like we do now. Somebody had to run, or if they had a telephone, they called, and somebody came in and rang the bell to sound the alarm. But they drew this machine from here to approximately Advance Auto Parts, now Meter Road and 29. And the gentleman from Middle Falls met him with a team of horses and took it the rest of the way. All this occurred through 18 inches of snow on the ground. And it was all moved and operated by manpower. Normally there were no horses. Only on special occasions they would hire horses to drag it, or to drag it to a muster or a competition or whatever. Normally it was all moved and operated by manpower. Like I said, it was made in Waterford, New York by Button and Blake. If you go to Waterford, New York and visit their visitor center is built on the site of where their factory that made this machine used to be. And it's right on the edge of the Erie Canal. And we have a picture up here on the wall that shows them testing a machine, and they're pumping water out of the Erie Canal. The way this machine works is this piece here, there's one on each side, folds down, and then the machine works like a teeter-totter. One side goes down, the other side comes up. There's two 10-inch pistons, one on each side. They're 10-inch diameter. They have approximately a 9-inch stroke, and that moves a gallon of water each time, approximately a gallon of water each time that piston goes down and up. And the water is drawn in through this suction hose into the back of the machine, into the pistons, comes out of the pistons into the base of this nice brass ball, which is known as a pressure dome. It's much like, if you have a well system in your house, it's much like a pressure tank for your water system at home. The water tries to compress the air inside of this, and because it's a piston pump, they consider it a positive displacement pump. And what that does is it'll spurt when the pistons push the water out. And by trying to compress the air in this pressure dome, it smooths out so that it smooths out the water flow so there's less spurting, and you get a more constant stream out the hose. Comes out of the base of the pressure ball. There's two copper tubes here and one brass connection on the bottom, and that's where they would hook the hose. They could hold 3 hoses to this and keep water flowing on a fire. This machine, unlike today's fire trucks nowadays go to the fire, and they usually have water on them. This machine went to wherever the water was. It could have been a horse trough, it could have been a cistern in the ground that was used for fire water, or they would take it to the river or a pond if they had to. But There's no water in it. It holds no water. Right now this machine weighs 4,700 pounds as it sets. Originally it weighed about 1,000 pounds less, but we bought it in 1899. We moved into this building in 1904. This machine has been here since 1904 and it still works. When in 1926 this machine was sent back to the factory, most of your fire departments were working with motorized apparatus. Then the hand tubs were pretty much past their prime. So they were used as competitions. They would have competitions amongst the engine companies to see who could throw water the furthest. The record distance they've thrown water with a hand engine like this, or similar to this, to the best of my knowledge, is 275 feet. This machine has thrown, its record, to the best of my knowledge, is 232 feet, 1/4 inch. Well, like I said, in 1926, they sent this machine back to the factory to be refitted for competitions. Originally, this part and this part on each side was half as thick as it is now. This brass rail was originally a wooden rod. They replaced it, they made these thicker, and they replaced the wood with the brass and added about 1,000 pounds of weight. And once you get this going, like a teeter-totter, it's similar to a flywheel. You get it going, it wants to stay going. But when you get 60 people, 30 on each side, pumping, okay, they're pushing as hard as they can, and the machine's pumping as hard and as fast as it can, and that's how you get the water out, because we only use the bottom outlet in a competition, in a muster. And that's pretty much it for the machine, I think.